Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 22nd of February, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at currencies, then US stock markets, global stock markets, commodities, some US tech, and then we'll look at some UK stocks as well. So, first of all, we see the dollar index is just strengthening again this morning, making new highs above yesterday's high. Remember, as technical analysts, we love new highs. New highs are good, and so that's telling us that the dollar is just starting to power ahead again, and we're seeing this upside target of 1% higher at 102.60. So we are just seeing the dollar index is back on a run, bullish above the cloud on all three time frames. If we look at the euro, that's playing out in reverse, of course, and we're seeing at the moment we're 105.05, so we're just nudging this 105 level. Critically, we're through this 105.30 level, so we've fallen through that support level. We're making new, really lows that we haven't seen for several weeks now, and of course the charts for the euro are very bearish. We've got remember these upside targets coming off the chart. We talked about that last week. This is going to give us a new downside thrust target. This thrust down, so euro weakness. It's finally playing out. Wouldn't be surprised to see within the next several weeks the euro going to parity on the dollar and below. So this 104 level that we saw tested in December, January time, looks like we might well be going below that. Taking a look at the Japanese yen, we see here that the dollar is just strengthening above the cloud, but not quite as strong as we're seeing against the euro or in the index itself. And sterling is recovering this morning, um, so that's really quite key. And we are just above the cloud again here, short term looking bullish and just breaking out. So we talked about this yesterday, where we're just breaking out, but we do still need to break higher than this 125.20 level to be convincing. We're at just above 125 this morning. So looking at sterling rate against the euro, seeing that euro sinking is really increasing sterling's level against the euro. Euro weakness is really the theme that we're starting to see, and strength against the Swiss franc as well, as we see the Swiss franc falling in sympathy with the euro. So that's quite key. And then the Australian dollar against the sterling rate, we're seeing here that sterling has improved slightly, but just not improving as much as against the other currencies. Looking at the stock markets, we see here the S&P 500 just motoring on to new highs. We've been very bullish on the US stock markets last couple of weeks, and we're just seeing that play through. A lot of worry going around, but the reality is it will show up in the 60-minute chart first, and there's really no signs of any pullback at the moment. So just looking bullish on the Nasdaq, on the Dow Jones. Dow Jones now at 20,700. Remember a few weeks ago we were talking about could it uh, get through the 20,000 level? Well, now it's broken that. It's really motoring. The Russell 2000 also looking good, and the futures up slightly this morning, so looks like we might go higher again today. FTSE 100 down very slightly this morning, but still bullish above all three clouds. The FTSE 250 also bullish above all three clouds, and then the DAX also really just rocketing at the moment. That weak euro will be helping there. Nikkei still above the cloud on all three chart frames. The Shanghai Composite also bullish on all three time frame. Well, not quite yet on the weekly, but looking better and better short term. Hang Seng has come through on the weekly, looking pretty good all round. And the Sensex index in India is also bullish on all three time frames, so looking pretty good, as is the Australian market above the cloud on all three time frames. Crude oil pulling back a bit this morning, so we just can't break this 57.50 level. We're 56.47 this morning. Just can't quite get out of that sideways range, which is very unusual for this time of year. WTI just trying to break higher here, so we might just see it there, but again, it's just struggling a little bit. Natgas down further at 253, so we're seeing really big downside potential here. Uh, $2.19 is the downside target. So US Natgas now really just falling back off a cliff. We've got targets back to below $2 in the medium term on both the and the 1% and the 0.5% charts. So looks like we're going to see a real sell-off there. Uh, Looking at the gold chart, gold's just up slightly this morning, wandering out on this medium-term chart, so just looking a bit better. A new upside target here at 2087. That's 4% upside. So if we make new highs, that's activated. It's not yet activated. And silver also just still hanging in there and up a little bit this morning. Looking at just a couple of the tech stocks, Apple just rocketing, Google also moving higher, not making new highs on the daily chart after those results a month ago, but we are just seeing Amazon now breaking to a new high. We're seeing that on the weekly chart. So we see that run every time we make a new high. We run some further, looking pretty good. We've got good upside targets there as well. Facebook not quite breaking to new highs. Well, it has broken on the weekly, but just struggling on the short-term chart. But we've got lots of upside targets now on all these charts. So Facebook looking better, and Microsoft also has some upside targets. A couple of downside ones, but still bullish above the clouds. And Nvidia had a great day yesterday, and I still am holding on to this stock at the moment, but we're back below the cloud short term, but we had a 3% rise yesterday, and we've activated a new upside target of 9.5%. So a little bit have a tiger by the tail here. Taking a look at some of the UK stocks, there's strong news out from Lloyds this morning. So what does that mean on the chart? Well, we've just jumped. We are bullish on the medium term and short term charts anyway. Got targets of 6.5% and 11% upside target on the long term chart. Just starting to break out of that long term downtrend. So Lloyds looking quite a bit better. House builders still going further. Barratt Developments just jumping again this morning. So we're seeing that. If we just take a look at some of the shorter term, just the negative stocks we see here, we've got quite a few in the bearish camp. Unilever, which should be a story of late, has pulled back as a result of that bid being cancelled. But interestingly, we've held on to some of those gains, and we still do have upside targets of around 13%. So it's not all bad news. In the FTSE 100, and just because a bid fails doesn't mean the stock's going to plummet. So that's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.